Yeah.
Follow up on Ukraine, and then I have a second question related to that. Is it the U.S. view that President Zelensky should attend the NATO summit, and how might his presence affect the outcome of the discussions?
So we would welcome President Zelensky at the NATO summit. President Biden would welcome the opportunity to meet with President Zelensky at the NATO summit. The NATO summit will dive into the question of NATO's relationship with Ukraine, both the question of its pathway towards future membership and the question of an ongoing partnership that has existed for several years. And there will be important practical announcements in that regard at the summit. So President Zelensky's attendance at it would be very much welcome.
With respect to Belarus, Eastern European nations want NATO allies to beef up their security on the eastern flank, especially with Mr. Prigozhin's expected exile and the Wagner Group's expected exile into Belarus, which shares a border with Lithuania. Is the U.S. planning to announce any new security guarantees at the summit?
We have the ultimate security guarantee for Poland and the Baltic states, and it's Article 5 of NATO, and we intend to defend every single inch of NATO territory. We've also put our money where our mouth is in terms of enhanced U.S. deployments in both Poland and the Baltic states, as well as Romania and other eastern flank allies. I had the opportunity this morning to meet with my counterpart from Poland, the Polish National Security Advisor. The first and main topic of conversation was the evolving threat from Belarus. Both this question of whether Wagner will ultimately end up there, which, by the way, is still very much an open question, and the assertions about potential deployments of nuclear weapons on the territory of Belarus, and the role of Belarus in it and complicity of Belarus in Russia's aggression in Ukraine. These are all things that we have been taking account of going back to the start of this conflict, and we constantly look at everything from the positioning of NATO forces to the pre-positioning of various stocks and ammunition in the eastern flank. That will be a continued discussion at Vilnius, but this is an evolving picture, and so I don't think Vilnius is going to be the place where we put the final storyline down. It will continue to evolve as we go forward.
Thanks, Jake. Does the U.S. support eliminating the need for Ukraine to fulfill a membership action plan that essentially establishes benchmarks they have to meet to qualify for NATO membership?
So we're looking at that question. That is an active discussion among allies right now, whether Ukraine has in fact moved beyond the need for MAP. I won't get ahead of where leaders will end up at the summit, but that's under active consideration.
Yeah. Just one on a bilat with Erdogan. Is this going to be a pull aside that the president is planning to have, or will this be like a full-blown bilateral meeting to discuss Sweden's NATO membership?
I don't have anything to announce today, but I think you can expect that President Biden and President Erdogan will talk in Vilnius. In exactly what format that takes remains to be seen.